Welcome back. For the purposes of the 200 level e-learning modules, we're going to explore three fundamental questions when it comes to learning and development. Those questions are, what are the intended outcomes or end results we are striving for? What actions do we need to take to accomplish said goal? And what type of person do I need to become to execute these tasks? This can also be referred to goal orientation, task orientation, and role orientation. For the skill development theme, we are seeking to explore to understand the following. How can I increase skill development without compromising performance or anxiety? What are the ways I am currently reinforcing skill development with my team? What works best and what seems to return average results? And when was the last time you introduced variety into your program? Or is your program running on autopilot? Let's begin. How can I increase skill development without compromising performance or anxiety? As we learned in the challenge module, there is an upper limit to the amount of challenge you can present to your student athletes without the appropriate supports before it begins to compromise performance and student athlete attitudes. If we consider skill development, including appropriate instruction and assessments, a, f- a form of support, this supports an increase in the expectations you have for your student athletes' sports specific skills. On the Coaching Effect survey, we asked your student athletes 5 questions. I receive individual instruction from my coach during every practice. My coach has told me specifically what I need to work on to improve how I play. My coach lets me know when I do something well. When I make a mistake, my coach always helps me learn from it. My coach is very knowledgeable about the technical aspects of the sport. Let's turn to the data. When you're able to identify 2 of the questions that we asked on the Coaching Effect survey, that you may have a potential gap in your skill set as a coach, you can work to address those specific gaps. So if you're seeing a slightly lower average, and my coach has told me specifically what I need to work on to improve how I play, and my coach is very knowledgeable about the technical aspects of the sport, you may turn to professional development that focuses on your own knowledge acquisition for sport specific skills. If the potential gaps on your Coaching Effect survey are lower on my coach lets me know when I do something well, and when I make a mistake, my coach always helps me learn from it, you may want to practice scripting positive reinforcement or the bookend technique for providing constructive criticism. So using a positive comment followed by a instructional critical comment and ending with another positive comment. What are the ways I am currently reinforcing skill development with my team? What works best and what seems to return average results? We know and understand that skill development can be proactive or reactive. Proactive skill development includes running warm ups, drills, focusing on repetitions, and introducing new skills in a controlled environment. Reactive skill development includes mock games or competitions, allowing student athletes to make mistakes and then providing feedback, and introducing drills and skills in a more variable environment. Think about the ways you currently offer proactive skill development in your practices, and what are the ways you are currently offering reactive skill development? If you're currently offering the same drills over and over, let us consider variety. We'll dive deeper into this with the learning applications as well. When was the last time you introduced variety into your program? Let's consider your season on a macro and on a micro level. On the macro level, how do you run your season? Do you provide certain areas of emphasis and priorities early on versus later in the season? And on a micro level, how do you run your practices? Or even how do you structure your week? Let's borrow an exercise from educational psychology. Write down all the drills you currently run and or know of in your sport that are appropriate for the age group and skill level of your student athletes. Once you have that list, categorize those drills into options you do never, sometimes, usually, or always. Each drill or practice should fall into one of those categories. From there, you can identify one or two to move to a column further to the right. So, drills that you potentially never do, how can you adapt them so that way you sometimes complete them? Things that you and your team sometimes prioritize, how can you move that into the usually category? And things that you usually touch on, but you know are a priority, how can we move that into the always category? In the next video, we're going to dive a little deeper into the learning applications for skill development.